a range of frequencies of truth. As you take that truth and you play it in a different chord, it resonates differently. Like a keyboard, you can take the same piece of truth and you can drop its key in ratio all the way to the most bass frequency. Now, it's true that none of these, all these points, separate keys, they're all in ratio, they're consistent, but if you just take that key and it just leads straight to that key, they'll just be straight points, they'll never hit each other. They'll never coalesce, they'll never run into each other. The mystics all described these keys, these chords, this music as a ladder. That in the process of following a chord, the world is set up in such a way as to prompt the individual at a particular juncture to graduate to the next chord, to take a step on the next level of Jacob's ladder. And so the journey of a soul, whether in this lifetime or many lifetimes, is graduating from chord to chord, key to key, actualizing another resonance of truth, of all that is closer in intimacy to source. And as they master a key, they are extended the next step in the ladder in ratio to where they were, and they ascend gradually. But the question is that certainly the pinnacle of the ladder is the truth, and all the other steps weren't true. And the answer is that any step that leads an individual to get to the pinnacle, retroactively from the eye of eternity, is true. Because it helped you get to the level of the highest resonance, intimate frequency of all source. And for this, the mystics all explained that when an individual graduates in intimacy to a level of purity, then even the actions that were misaligned, the baser actions that they've done, what they would perceive as actions that were wrong actions or wanton in some way, even those actions become their merits. Why? Because it was those actions that were baser that in the end led them to perceive the void through which they were confronting, and in appreciating the void, the darkness, they recognized the light to eventually claim the light of eternity. And from the light of eternity, therefore, even their baser resonance was a merit, for it helped graduate them to the eye of eternity. And so from this perspective, we can begin to fathom how it can be that there can be baser actions in our world. How so many can struggle and suffer, and how there could be corruption and evil in our world. For when we conceive that when individuals experience the dark, in the darkness they recognize the impact of the light. The light is the most clear. The impact of the light is most potent and splendorous when it is surrounded by darkness. That's when that flash is so poignant. And so if one can delve into the darkness, they are not forsaken, for the darkness has taught them the coordinates of the light. And then from the perspective of the light and arriving at the light, even the darkness was a merit, for it helped them arrive at the eye of eternity. And so from that perspective, if one reaches the higher love, if one reaches unconditional love, it doesn't matter what was done or how it was done. For from that perspective, it's called borrowing from the darkness, borrowing from the left side. When one arrives at the higher love, all that transpired in getting them there was all the fuel. And it's energy. And to the degree that energy was used for baser resonances, then it was a vertigo. But to the degree that they have traveled and incurred the passions of the baser energies, once they reach the higher love of eternity, all that they've endured or suffered or resonated or cooked in a baser frequency becomes inverted to become a passion to that higher love. For these are now networks of understanding to help impart that love to others who are languishing on baser chords, and help understand them in their song, in their frequency where they are stuck, and help imbue them in the higher love resonance to impart to them the coordinates to uplift to a space where one can realize that from the eye of eternity there's an aspect of me that's already actualized, and if I can get beyond the judgments and swim in the oneness, then I can listen to my own music from the eye of eternity as an avatar, as a master, and listen within and hear that poignant song and coordinates of all that I am. For we are all worthy along this tier. There is none that are, some are worthy and some are not. We are all worthy. We are all waiting to realize collectively that we are all worthy. There is no competition. Everyone has a different chord of truth to resonate in order to help make the labyrinth of diversity, so that way our journeys are poignant in our ascension up that ladder, to realize that when we get to the pinnacle of that ladder, which is the higher love, which is unconditional, which is the true frequency of all sorts, and when we get there we realize the whole ladder was superfluous. For the whole graduation of everything that we're worthy of, and therefore to climb to the other, was only to arrive at the top and realize that all are worthy anyway. But I could never have appreciated all are worthy unless I was so worthy to get to that close, to that level of intimacy, and then God within and see how abundant that higher love is, and how all are worthy. For they are all headed to the highest love. It doesn't matter how long it takes, for from the eye of eternity, they are already there. And so that one only needs to enter the portal of that higher love in oneness and realize that they're already there. And then in that space to draw upon their actualized self and that song, and follow and dance to that music from their own heart within, to follow the higher hearts above and broadcast that music, so that all in the circle of influence can dance to its beat and not have to languish in the baser chords of competition and struggle, the primitive chords of the past, but enter into the intimate chords of a bountiful future.